Okay, on May 18th, we discussed the opposites theorem. Basically, all the opposites theorem does is compare the sine of an angle measure or the cosine of an angle measure, the tangent, to the sine, cosine, or tangent of the opposite of that angle measure. Remember, like the opposite, like the sine of 20 degrees, that would be a counterclockwise rotation, leaving the terminal ray in quadrant 1. The x and y coordinate here are both going to be positive. And compare that to this like sine of like a negative 20 degree rotation as opposed to a sine of a positive 20 degree rotation. A negative 20 degree rotation would land the terminal ray in quadrant 4. And the x coordinate here would be the same as this x coordinate, but the y coordinate would be the exact opposite. That means that the sine of like negative 20 degrees, that's going to be the exact opposite of like the sine of 20 degrees. And I think I actually put that into the calculator just so you can take a look. Sine of negative 20 degrees, exact opposite of the sine of 20 degrees. Whereas the cosine of negative 20 degrees, that would be exactly the same as the cosine of 20 degrees because it's the x-coordinate divided by the radius, the length of the radius. Tangent would also be the opposite because tangent is y over x. And the x-coordinates would be the same here, but the y-coordinates would be exact opposites. So the tangent of negative 20 degrees, that's the exact opposite of the tangent of 20 degrees. Okay, we also talked on May 18th about the supplements theorem. And just remember that two angles are supplements of each other if they add up to 180 degrees. Like for instance, a 10 degree angle is supplementary to a 170 degree angle. So let's compare the sine of 180 minus 10 to the sine of 10 degrees, okay? Remember, the y-coordinates, I took a look at the picture over here. The y-coordinate here, the sine of like 10 degrees, the x and y coordinates would both be positive, but the sine of like 180 degrees minus 10 degrees, remember the alpha here is the reference angle, that would be 10 degrees in each one of these. So the sine of 10 degrees and the sine of 170 degrees are exactly the same because y over r would be the same number. Cosine, on the other hand, are going to be exact opposites because the x-coordinate here is the exact opposite of the x-coordinate here. The tangent of 180 degrees minus like 10 degrees, that's the tangent of 170, that would be y over negative x. Whereas opposed to the tangent of 10 degrees, that would be y over positive x. So the tangent of an angle measure is the exact opposite of the tangent of its supplementary angle.